guys, it's me, and it's going to be What If Naruto Went Rogue. This is going to be a replacement of What If Naruto Was Betrayed, and also What If Naruto Turned Evil. I wanted to replace these two with this What If because they weren't really that detailed, and they were pretty old What Ifs that I said basically a lot. So yeah, I didn't really want to go on those what ifs anymore because I don't want to hear people saying, wow, you're not saying basically anymore. Wow, what a surprise. I really don't want to hear that in the comment section, and I just rather start a new what if replacing these both what ifs. That is all I'm saying. But yeah, let's start this what if, but first the intro.
I feel like God, I'm a Kage. Whoa, busting my ass, I know off days. Whoa, me, I've been working, I grind from the ground, and now you see my drip is so Kage. Kage. No tell beat Kasame. Never have breaks, no off days. Bitch, my drip ho. Look, boy, I'm a legend, but bound my presence. Don't test me, I'm ready. My drip like Hokage. See you and I, we both had nothing in common. I move like Kakashi, I do shit to bro. Let's go. Young Shinobi from the unknown. Said I gotta show that I'm with it. I got gusto, not tell false. I kill them, we all cut throats. Had to put the work in, show them what the work is. Came up from the bottom, now I'm up though. Ayy, stuck up at the trenches, now I'm on my lit shit. Give me serious one punch, oh, what the fuck, ayy. Pass up the race, gotta show them I'm playing when I amp up the stakes. High like a satellite, we can get us rapping right there with the team. We can run up the fade. Sold out a young lame, I said one day flex with a team, they love what I say. And when I'm showing up, no one as cold as us guarantee I'ma go fuck up the game. Kage, running from the bottom to the top place. Young little legend from the village to the my way. Now they trying to copy like a cat.
I am going to change a few things in the story. Iruka would actually hate Naruto in this what if, and would think that he was the cause of death of his parents dying. And Hiruzen would not like Naruto, disliking Naruto, but not full on wanting him to die. And Naruto is currently not in a bloodline or anything, so he won't get the Sharingan or anything like that. But I do feel like that him being the reincarnation of Ashura would make him not want to leave the village. So I'm actually going to swap up a bit things here. Naruto's going to be 50% of Ashura. So yeah, I am going to contradict myself. He can awaken the Sharingan, and he will have to be part Uchiha to do this. Sorry for contradicting myself. Because, if he's just a reincarnation of Ashura, he's not going to leave the village. He's most likely just not going to care if Iruka or Hiruzen hate him. He's still going to push through to be Hokage. But yeah, 50% of the two souls of the reincarnations of Indra and Asha would go into Naruto, and the other 50% would go into Sasuke, if you wonder. But yeah, let's get to this what if. Naruto's mindset would be this. He would want to leave the village one day, but he wondered when could he have the chance. And if you're also wondering, the Naruto's attack would be the same. And yeah, sorry if my what if skills are not going to be the best. I'm kind of rusty right now because I just got in a little bit of a break on 2-day breaks, and then I come back to YouTube and make a what if. I've just been consistently doing that. I am going to challenge myself I have to make a what if for all what ifs in a whole entire week, all of my series in 1 week. But yeah, that will be in a later video. Naruto would right now be at Iruka trying to perform the Sharingan Jutsu, but doing the same thing like canon. Iruka being a bit rude to Naruto for failing. I would call Naruto a failure, a brat, worthless trash that doesn't deserve to be in the Uchiha clan or the Uzumaki clan, and was just born luckily. Naruto would have left the academy in tears and proceeded to sit on a bench. Then Mizuki would come, doing the same thing like in the original. Naruto would have stole the scroll of sealing, and then would have went into the woods and learned the multi-Sharingan Jutsu. Now we would get to Naruto and Iruka arguing, proceeding to yell at each other, saying, Naruto, how dare you steal the scroll of sealing? Yelling at him, not even letting Naruto explain. And Naruto would finally be able to explain that. What do you mean? I thought this was a part of the test. And then Iruka proceeded to say, shut the hell up, you demon! Why did you steal the scroll of sealing? Then we would get to Mizuki, proceeding to say, wow, Iruka, you really have no trust in your students. What the hell? Mizuki, what do you mean? Mizuki would proceed to laugh, explaining that he was originally going to steal the scroll of sealing and then give it to Orochimaru for more jutsus so he can get power. Haruka would have widened his eyes, realizing that Naruto was telling the truth. Then Mizuki would have shouted, "Demon Wind Shuriken!" throwing it at Naruto. Haruka would have not gone away, but have used a kunai to block it, knowing if Naruto dies, then the village asset would be killed and they wouldn't be able to be a strong village anymore. So Haruka blocking the Demon Wind Shuriken and then proceeding to tell Naruto to run with the scroll of sealing, not wanting Naruto to currently die or weakening the village. Naruto would have been behind the tree, then Mizuki would proceed to say, "Naruto, do you want to hear some shocking news? I know you're nearby. You are the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki." Haruka, are you really protecting a beast? Haruka would have frowned, proceeding to say, "I have to protect him, or the village would have been weakened, but I have to kill you because you're a traitor. I don't care about Naruto that much, but still, you are a traitor and he is a Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, so I am forced to protect him. I don't think he's nearby right now, but currently, Mizuki, this is about me and you, not the demon brat." Then Naruto would realize Haruka's words were just ways to just get him away and proceed to go so he can just take the scroll of sealing back to the Hokage. Him realizing all Haruka really wanted was just to manipulate Naruto to just go and proceed to leave so he can just handle Mizuki himself so he doesn't have to have a demon brat messing with the fight. Naruto would have realized this, proceeding to say, "Why does everyone in this village hate me?" He would have banged the tree that he was on. That Mizuki would have heard him proceeding to say, "Come out, demon brat. I heard that. Damn it, why didn't he escape that dumb demon brat?" Thinking this in his mind, but then realizing that there's no point just not announcing it. He probably already heard him saying all that stuff. Then he would proceed to yell out to Naruto to just run away while he's holding off Mizuki. Naruto would have done that, but he would have been heading to the village gates, where the village gates people were just guarding, and then Naruto would have summoned about 50 clones. They would have confronted the village gates and proceeded to battle him, making a large distraction. The village gates people, or sorry I said village gates people, I really don't know their names. They would have taken down all these clones and then wondering, where is Naruto and why did he attack us? Never mind the demon brat, where is he? Then they proceeded to see an orange jumpsuit leaving the village, then realizing, was that a distraction? We had to alert the Hokage. The demon has escaped the village. Then he would have realized this is all of his fault. If he just treated Naruto like a normal person and realized sooner that this is not Naruto's fight of why the demon fox is inside of him, he's just a normal human being that just got sealed of unlucky reasons of the Nitros escaping and him being one of the only people to be the last Jinchuriki, of him being an Uzumaki, one of the last Uzumakis. Sorry for that Discord message. And then realizing it was never Naruto's fault. He should have just treated him like his grandchild. He should have treated him how Naruto's father, being the fourth Hokage, wanted him treated. He wanted him treated like a hero for being the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, and he just realized all this, proceeding to say, how the hell didn't I realize all this? It was never Naruto's Uzumaki's fault. Then he would realize he can't really announce Naruto's heritage to calm down some of the villagers, or most of the villagers, because Naruto is right now out and he's being a rogue nin, and he's probably going to be classified that by the elders for them wanting him gone, or not really permanently gone, wanting the Nine Tails back, and will probably put a huge bounty of 20 million or 30 million yen for him to come back to the village. And enemies of the fourth Hokage will realize now that the fourth Hokage's son is right now out, and they can get their perfect revenge by killing his brat. He wonders, what will he do? Now we get to Naruto escaping the village. He's near the village border, proceeding to just just sit down and rest and just breathe in and breathe out, him nearly being into the mist country. Naruto always loves going to the library and learning about everything about the 4 nations and everything, or the 5 nations being the Hidden Leaf. We learned about all the wars, history, and everything, and all the layouts of these places in each, like fire country, lightning country, water country. You get the point. He would have heard that there's currently a war going on in the Hidden Mist. He doesn't really want to be in the war, and he already knows about the rebels currently wanting to get rid of the now Kage. But yeah, he really does not want to deal with that right now. So he just currently wants to go to the borders of the Mist Village to get away from the Leaf, that the Leaf won't be able to cross the borders, making him a Ronin, making him think he was never actually a villager, or he was never actually a ninja, but still, I think they would declare me as a Ronin, being the 9th Legend Cherokee and being very dangerous. Now understanding the dynamic of power, him being lost in the village, probably going to hunt him down. But he would put that as his mind, getting back up and running again, to make sure that he can escape the village, and he knows that he's near the mist borders, but not completely yet. Now we get to a council meeting being called about Naruto Uzumaki. They would be discussing, then proceeding to say, "So, what will we do about this matter? Our 9-tailed Jinchuriki has escaped the village, and the only major military power are the elite Jonins and Sasuke Uchiha that we could train to get his Mangekyo Sharingan, and maybe we will ask for Itachi to come back to the village." Now, one of our big defenses in war being gone, and our determination being a bit or a lot less now in the 5 nations. Also would have had a smile, proceeding to say, maybe I could put him under a gang jutsu. This is currently all in his thoughts, and then he actually proceeded to voice his opinion, proceeding to say, why don't we put a bounty on him? About 50 million yen. That's a lot more than my son being only about worth 30 million yen. You mean Asuma Saratobi? Why do you mention him in this meeting? I'm just questioning, why so much on him? Simple, he's our gadget in war, our gadget optimization, our #1 gadget. If we no longer have him anymore, the village is extremely vulnerable. What do you expect, Hiruzen, for us just to leave a military weapon unadvised? Are you stupid? Maybe we really should just replace you. So then, do we do this? We first give him a 50 million bounty, and we put him in the bingo book. Then we proceed to label him as capture and make sure alive, but not announce that he is a 9-tailed Jinchuriki, and ignore any questions of why they want this child to be alive, and also put him as a D-low genin. He has likely already went to the border and passed it, so there is no reason to just do that. And maybe another village will capture him, then proceed to give it to us. Wouldn't that be easier? Not announcing that he is the 9-tailed Jinchuriki, but also assuring that villages will probably want to catch him and then proceed to get the money from us. We might waste some money, but we will still get back our 9-tailed Jinchuriki. And for Hiruzen, for your sake, we will put him as to not injure. And if we do get any updates of Naruto Uzumaki getting stronger, then we will just hunt him down ourselves and also replace his rank on the bingo book of how much he has strengthened and got stronger. This might only take about a week to capture him, or might take a couple of years. We really don't know, Hiruzen. And currently, we have to do this very quickly. So now, should we announce this to the village and also to the other nations. Fine, just do it. I have no say in the matter anyway. I am outvoted. Then all of them will proceed to smile, proceeding to say, okay, we will be announcing this tonight. Now we get back to Naruto. Naruto currently running and finally got to the Mist Borders. Just exactly when that meeting ended, Naruto would have had a bad feeling, but he would have quickly rushed this off. Then he pretty much would have got into a spot and he would have went into a small village that would have let him stay, him being only a child. Then Naruto would have practiced summoning jutsu, or not summoning jutsu. He would practice some technique in the scroll, seeing Rasengan, Majestic Destroyer Flame, no Tensei. Wow, there's a lot of jutsus in this. The secret to the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Explaining that you get the knowledge and everything, and then proceeding to say, oh, that's actually really cool. Not knowing that he can easily master jutsus with the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and a user needs a lot of chakra. Naruto, knowing that he does have a lot of chakra, noticing that he has more chakra than usually anybody in the village, even the Hokage himself. I can notice a few things with the scroll. It has several techniques and it has a couple of weapons inside the scroll and a couple of papers saying to channel your chakra into this, and this being especially for Jonin instructors to tell what their students' chakra are. I forgot to read that a bit better. Chakra natures. Interesting. Naruto would have saw the rules that it said. You have to channel your chakra into this paper. He just saw that he had about 4 chakra natures. The first one was lightning, the second one was wind, and the third one was water. And him being a Uchiha having fire. I wonder how rare that is. It doesn't matter, I just had to perfect these jutsus. He would have gotten to a training spot in this Mist Village and then proceeded to summon loads of Shadow Clone jutsus and then proceeded to train them to learn these 2 jutsus. The multi-water spike jutsu, the jutsu bursting being 100 spikes everywhere. Then the Majestic Destroyer Flame jutsu. It would have taken him a full month to learn all these jutsus, and he would have done it and his clones would have been able to do it. Then he would have desummoned all his clones, getting all the information, and yeah, he would have blacked out for about 5 minutes and then would have gotten back up, proceeding to say, oh my god, all that knowledge. And that must be worth like 5 years of training, and realizing he didn't even fully perfect these jutsus, him still being impressed and he managed to do them. Would have done Majestic Destroyer Flame Jutsu, proceeding to raise up his hands, or one of his hands, make a circle, putting it in its mouth, and then proceeded to release the Majestic Destroyer Flame Jutsu, and it nearly being as big as Madara's, but not quite. I'm seeing the destructive capabilities of it. Then he proceeded to summon a bunch of water clone spikes. They proceeded to charge at a target being a shadow clone, and then the water clones would have just exploded and it would immediately destroy the water clone, or sorry, the shadow clone, immediately dispersing it, proceeding to say these are pretty good jutsus. And Naruto proceeded to see a jutsu that would catch his eye, being the Rasengan and the Chidori, and then would summon a bunch of shadow clones in practicing this. But at the meantime, we would get to Hiruzen and the council, or Danzo, announcing all this information to the villagers, and then proceed to explain it worldwide by crows and other means wise. We would get to the 5 nations wondering, why do they want this child captured, and him being worth so much, and him being worth more than even the Hokage's son? And then wonder, why did they put a D-lower ninja into the bingo books? That makes absolute no sense by the Leaf Ninja. Them just saying, and they have all these warnings of, do not hurt the boy and just capture him. They sorry for messing up. They would have wondered this, but then putting this in the back of their mind saying 50 million yen would give a little money boost to their villages. So they are proceeded to say, I guess we will send ninjas to look for Naruto Uzumaki. That is what it says. Now we would get back to Naruto. Naruto practicing the Rasengan, or the incomplete Rasengan, and he would have dispelled his clones for the night and would have gotten all the information, practicing the incomplete Rasengan and needing a clone to do it. But he would have said, I will master it with one hand. He would have plowed that incomplete Rasengan into the tree, only doing a little damage, where he proceeded to say, I guess that's good for the night, going back to sleep. Then he would have done his Chidori training, making his Wintomo Sharingan, realizing why he couldn't do the Chidori, and awakening it out of frustration. Then we have proceeded to see Naruto doing the Chidori, charging lightning chakra, then proceeding to run to a tree, slicing it in half. Taking him about 1 day to do it. He would have lied down to the ground, breathing hard. Naruto guessed of how many Chidoris he can do for a day, having more chakra than Kakashi, and I'm pretty sure Kakashi can only do about 5 Chidoris this day, or even more. So I'm going to say this: Naruto can do about 25 to 20 Chidoris a day. But yeah, if he does that many, all of his chakra is pretty much out. But Naruto would have been proud of himself for doing this Chidori training. Would have gotten up, proceeded to say, wait for me, world! I will show the power of Naruto Uzumaki! Naruto hyperventilating on the ground and then passing out of exhaustion. Naruto would have had about 5 jutsus in his belt: the Destroyer Flame, the Shadow Clone Jutsu, the Water Spike Jutsu, and the Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, and I guess the pre-form of the Rasengan. But yeah, that is all he currently has, and not much more. But yeah, we would get to Naruto passed out on the ground, and the local villagers in the Mist Village would have heard this, needing more money in the village, and then they would have proceeded to look for Naruto, knowing how he looks and realizing that that was the current person that just came to the village, and thinking they were really in luck. They would have saw him passed out on the ground, and then they proceeded to get him in a wagon, and then they would proceed to take him back to the Hidden Leaf. But Naruto would have woken up, him being about 25% there to the leaf, being just past the border. He would have quickly said, Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, and then there would be a bunch of Shadow Clones going out to the wagon. All the wagon's people, about 5 people just in case Naruto woke up, and they would have restrained him, currently sleeping. Naruto had proceeded oh my god, I'm messing up my words a lot, guys. I'm so sorry. Naruto had proceeded to go out with his Shadow Clones, and yeah, these Shadow Clones would have scouted the area, giving all Naruto the information one of the Shadow Clones telling him. Then they would have all dispelled. Then Naruto had proceeded to say, who are you guys? All the people currently being in the front. We're sorry, kid. We need the 50 million yen. They proceeded to charge Naruto. Then Naruto would proceed to say Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu, and then proceeded to go. All of his Shadow Clones would have knocked out all the wagon's people. Then Naruto would have escaped the wagon, proceeding to say, I'm sorry, I have to go. I'm sorry that your village needs 50 million yen, but it's just, I have to get back to the Mist Village, so I'm not a part of that dang Leaf Village anymore that neglects me. Then proceeding to go. The wagon's people are proceeding to say, dang, we can't provide for our village, but we can't do anything, he's too strong. But then there would be 2 mission we'll need from that exact village. The Emperor's gonna say, kid, you're coming with us. We need that 50 million yen for our village. Damn you, I'm not coming. Even though it says that we can't injure you, that doesn't mean we can't hurt you a bit, at least, to restrain you. The both Chunin would immediately just went for taijutsu, not wanting to hurt Naruto for only being a D-class genin, but Naruto would have quickly proven them wrong that he's way more above genin, proceeding to say Fireball Jutsu. And if you're wondering, Naruto would have learned a couple of jutsus in the scroll, learning about the basic Fireball Jutsu, the Great Uchiha Fireball Jutsu, and currently the Great Fireball Dragon Jutsu. What Sasuke or Itachi used in the fight, where they nearly battled for an hour. Sorry if you guys hear any background noise, that is currently just my family. But yeah, we would get to Naruto. Fireball Jutsu! Bring a fireball, then the two Chunin would say water bullet, throwing a water bullet and then proceeding to dispel the Fireball Jutsu. Then saying, where is he? There's a bunch of smoke everywhere. Naruto would have turned on his one-toe Sharingan, being able to see the two Chunin. He would have instantly sneaked up one of them behind, proceeding to punch them really hard. And if you wonder, the 2 months Naruto would have been training in his physical strength, and his clones would have been training in in their jutsus. So yeah, Naruto would have been training physical strength, clones, jutsus. Naruto would have been very packed and would have had, not abs, but would have definitely had muscle in his arms, and would have obviously been a little bit defined in his muscle area of his arms. So currently, Naruto punched the Chunin in the face, sending the Chunin flying about 15 feet in the air. Then he would have made a water spike, proceeding to throw it at the Chunin. But the Chunin in the air proceeded to say water bullets, proceeding to throw a water bullet, and it would have deflected the water spike, then both dispersing. And Naruto would have summoned a couple of water spike clones, then proceeding to go around the area, and then targeting towards the Chunin that is slowly coming out of the air really fast, and him only being about a feet away, who would went on the ground, and then all other shadow clones proceed to disperse, throwing a bunch of water spikes at him. The Chunin would proceed to say, this kid's getting level, he's keeping a one-on-one fight on me. Then Naruto proceeds to say, Demon Wind Shuriken, releasing it with wind chakra going insanely fast. The Chunin barely blocking it with his kunai. His kunai would have been cut in half, but still he would have managed to dodge his body in time. Then he proceeded to see his kunai, proceeding to say, wow, it cuts straight through. And here basically to say Fire Phoenix Jutsu, letting out a bunch of little fireballs at the Chunin. The Chunin not being able to block this one, and he would have gotten hit by the barrage of attacks and nearly would have been out of submission, but would have gotten back up. Then his partner would have finally joined in, proceeding to say, wow, you really can't handle one kid. Then they proceed to say, let's just tag team him. Naruto just said, Great Fireball Jutsu, giant fireball, or proceed to go to the two Chunin. The two Chunin not being able to summon just a water ball at the fireball, not dispelling it, they would have just gotten out of the way. Then they would have thrown a kunai at Naruto, being laced with a bit of water chakra in it. Naruto would have easily just catch one of these two kunais at the tips. Then would have thrown the two kunais with wind chakra, and then the two Chunins would proceed to throw their own kunais with water chakra, the both kunais dispelling each other. Then Naruto would have summoned about 15 shadow clones, and then they all were proceeded to use water spike direction jutsu, summoning a bunch of water spikes targeting to the Chunins. The Chunins would have done a jutsu of a couple of water clones, taking the shots of the water spikes, but nearly going through some of them. Mist Jutsu, they proceeded to summon a bunch of mist filter chakra. Naruto Sharingan not being able to see through this, but the two ninjas easily proceeding to see through this. Naruto proceeded to enhance his Sharingan a lot, now actually being able to see a lot better in the mist, but still not completely better than the two Chunin currently right now. So they do have a bit of an element of surprise. But Naruto proceeded to say, I'm done with this fight, proceeding to go up to a tree, finally having a bit of vision, and then proceeding to say, Majestic Destroyer Flame Jutsu, proceeding to summon it through the mist, completely engulfing that whole entire area. The two Chunin would have been severely burned, but not dead, managing to escape the fireball jutsu, but still would have gotten burnt. They would have proceeded to say, who the hell is this kid? Then they would have heard 1,000 birds, Naruto Sharingan over this fight developing to the two Tomo Sharingan. And then Naruto proceeding to say, one down, going through the one Chunin that was next to his partner. Naruto would have gotten his hand out of the Chunin not dropping dead but nearly dead. Then Naruto proceeded to say, I'm warning you, leave. So the Chidori still being in his hand. The Chunin would have think that his partner was dead and then proceeded to try to slice Naruto in the face. But Naruto would have just used the Chidori and to slice through the Chunin's vest and then proceed to go through the Chunin. But not completely, not like cutting him in half, just going about like 25% of the Chunin's body. The Chunin coughing out was probably going to bleed out, but Naruto would have summoned a couple of sugar clones, patching up the two Chunins, and then just proceeding to leave them in their condition. But he knew that these Chunin should live, performing a few of Tsunade's techniques they learned from the scroll. Sorry if I didn't announce this back at the training. I was just now thinking of giving him some of these techniques to give the Chunin at least alive, I just wanted to keep the two Chunins alive and Naruto not known as a killer just yet. But yeah, he would have put some some medical jutsus on these two Chunins, healing them, then just proceeding to go. And yeah, this is going to be the end of this What If. Comment down below if you guys want these two Chunins in the story, and maybe to always be catching Naruto, or to one day befriend Naruto and have an alliance with him, or just be in a group with Naruto being called the trio. Comment down below if you want any of those, and if you guys do decide if you want any of those, tell me by Discord link in the description, or just tell me in the comments. Then I will say what do you guys want this name to be called in the Discord. How do you want these two Chunin to turn out into the story? Then booted out of the story, maybe becoming into Naruto's life and maybe being a common occurrence, or maybe being people that always tries to capture Naruto and always battles him but always fail. I'm going with this, like I do like them being in a trio, but I'm gonna leave this to decide with you, and I can't really make any polls, but I will leave about 3 comments, and which comment gets the most likes gets picked. But yeah, I hope you guys like and subscribe, and bye. Reminding you, I will be doing this in Discord, so yeah, Discord link in description, please go check it out.